this is more of like a, thank you, excellent. This is more like a prose piece, or why do we have to define things, right? The Asian American, never mind. Okay. Dear India, like all tragic love stories, I never left you because I was never yours. When white people ask where I'm from and I say I was born here, they say, no, really, like, where are you from? And I know what they're asking is, why are you brown? Dear India, you can claim my culture or whatever and my last name, but baby, I spent all my nights in America and my heart will never be yours. Dear India, I used to hate you growing up because I just wanted to be normal and I never knew what normal was because all the other kids were white. And when I was 8, I went to a friend's house and I almost cried because I had no clue what pot roast was, and I still kind of don't. The day Kurt Cobain shot himself, I cried listening to Jesus Don't Want Me for a Sunbeam. I memorized the words to Jack Kerouac. So in America, when the sun goes down and I sit on the old broken down river pier and I stare at all that raw land moving in one huge unbelievable bulge to the west coast and all the people dreaming in the immensity of it, and I think of Iowa and all the children that are crying when the land where they let the children cry, and don't you know God is Pooh Bear? Dear India, I'm sorry when I was 6 I said it was dumb to think a cow was God. Dear India, I learned about karma from a white girl with dreads who was tripping balls. Dear India, I'm not proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free, but I'm not proud to be Indian because how can you be proud of something you have no control over? Dear India, you're like an ex-boyfriend I'm embarrassed that I slept with and I can't ever forget because anyone who will ever meet me will know. Dear India, why do you have make it so freaking hard to like you? Why do you have to make it a crime to be gay? You're not even Christian. There are like a million gods there. And why can't you have any social welfare for the millions of starving children when you do have a thriving middle class? And why are your gods have like 9 hands and they look like they're gonna give hand jobs? I was gonna cross that. Okay. Um, sorry about that. It's just when you're in prayer, it's like, you have to stare at whatever. You're imagining, whatever. I saw, dear India, I saw the Taj Mahal being polished while across the street naked children played in the garbage. I saw businessmen yell at a little girl begging for food. I saw the sun rise over cobbled streets and a stunning woman walk down the street and it looked like the cover of Vogue. I saw construction workers who didn't wear helmets and climb the scaffolding barefoot. When the car broke down, the mechanic repaired it using a bunch of random things like a piece of chewing gum, like MacGyver. The weather was gray, but all the people dressed in brilliant colors, and I wondered if psychologically, if the mind, if you live in a dismal place and there's no weather naturally, if the mind has to produce it artificially. In America, they ask me where I'm from. In India, they charge me American prices. The American dream Indians come here for is to work hard so their kids can become doctors. And if you want to be an artist, you're not just a huge normal disappointment, but a poor investment. No one would uproot their lives and pay 30 or 50 grand a year just so their kid could sit around a room and, quote, play with words or whatever it is you do. Nobody wants to hear, Mom, I want to be a writer. It's like saying, hey, everything you worked for was kind of a waste, but I'm chasing my dreams, which are all about me, because I'm a unique, special snowflake, just like everyone else. By the way, can you put more money in my account? They resign my existence with someone who is mentally ill or not able to conceive of the concept that money is traded for goods and services. When is following your dream being selfish? Should you just suck it up and make the most money you can? Because at some point, when you're old enough, you realize it was kind of dumb to think your life is your own when your whole life has been surrounded by others. The day my novel came out, no one in my family congratulated me. They equated money with success, but there was no money. Like, there was no money. And there were no calls or texts or messages or money. Like, there was no money. And my best friend's dad called me, who took me to a Denny's once, and he told me about on PBS he saw this special on India and how they had this rat temple, and I was trying to eat, so it was kind of gross, but he was super awesome on the phone and supportive, and I was like, man, if I had an American dad, like, it would be different, you know? Dear India, you may have Gandhi on the wall of your post office, but I've heard you openly talk about how Muslims beat their wives. If you're a divorced woman, no one wants you, even though you have no idea what happened. Your marriages are arranged like bank loans, and even if the wife is a doctor or an accountant, she still is the one who does all the cooking and cleaning. It's like the 1950s, except the TVs are flat and there's memory foam. Dear India, I'm sorry you have to be mixed up with me. I know you would cut the ties if it was up to you. I'm sorry that people worked hard to give me opportunities that I don't want. Dear India, I wish I could be better. I wish I thought it was as fascinating to be Indian as a middle aged white woman who compliments my thick dark hair and my exotic looks as she holds her Jumpa Lahiri book and talks about beautiful saris and exotic spices. But that's not the India I know. I wish I felt something special when I heard your name instead of just still images of National Geographic and those kids with the flies around them, and then you get sad. I don't want to hate you, and I don't want to exploit you, and I feel guilty for not feeling bad enough that I don't know how to care about you. I wish I could wash you off me in a monsoon. Dear India, you made me sick when I was a kid, like really sick. I had dysentery. And I remember running to the bathroom and not knowing whether to shit on the wall and puke in the toilet or to puke on the wall and shit in the toilet. And that's how I feel every time I think about how Trump is president. And I want to hide in your Himalayas because suddenly I'm more connected to you more than ever. Like, my skin color means I have a political agenda all the time. Like, white people can tweet and then just go about their day. In The Adventures of Huck Finn, there's a part where Finn realizes that if he doesn't turn Jim in, he'll go to hell forever. He decides that he'll still let Jim be free, even though he's doomed for eternal hell forever and ever. He's still like, I can't do it. I can't turn my friend in. And that's this Emersonian notion of self-reliance, to think what I think is good, even though it doesn't agree with social norms, is good. And for me, that's what America means. That's what I appreciate, because in other countries, it's all about upholding conformity and social norms. India, I know Martin Luther King's, and that's why the most effective political act is to tell the truth. So try to tell the truth. India, I know Martin Luther King's dream came from Gandhi's teaching, but your history is something I read about on Wikipedia when I had to go there, and again on Wikipedia before I wrote this. But when I hear Martin Luther King's speech, or I hear Larry Flint say, well, sue God for making pussy because I only took pictures of it, or when I see the grainy footage, One Small Step for Mankind, or when I watch dogs attack the peaceful marches during the civil rights movement, or Bob Dylan's voice, I think that's my history. When the pilot in his Midwestern voice says, "Welcome to New York City, JFK," I think that's my home. That's my fucked up home, too.